I want to say particular thanks to the panel. You folks were absolutely terrific. And I want to thank all of you for coming. One of the messages was we're all in this together, and you're coming here today to learn and participate is a very important part of that. So thank you, audience, for participating. We are extremely grateful. And now we get to do a fun part of our program here. We'll do it in front, so we're not hiding behind the podium here. The Moakley Award is really designed to recognize public service, someone who exemplifies the kinds of things that Joe Moakley said was important about public service. It was a high profession and you needed to do it well. And so we only honor people who do it well. But we also honor really good people who have made a difference in their community and in their lives. And one of the things I want to mention to you, this is the first of two ceremonies that we're going to have. When you are from Cape Cod, you think it's another continent. And so we are going to have a local celebration on Cape Cod at the end of May. But nonetheless, some of your staff said they wanted to come here, and in fact we are filming this, guys. You're going to be on cable TV on Cape Cod. And equally importantly, we have 3 generations. We have your wife, we have your daughter, and your grandson Declan hiding over there. So thank you all very much. Let me just tell you a couple of things about Tom Lynch. He's a very interesting public servant. For those of you who are thinking about the public service, I want you to think about this resume and think about how much fun you can have in the public service. Nothing boring about this guy at all. He starts out going to graduate school at Boston College in special education. His career begins as a special ed teacher in the classroom, working with students with disabilities down on Cape Cod. Then he said, that's not exciting enough. I'm going to get a license so I can ferry a 100-ton boat with people who are interested in going to Martha's Vineyard or to Nantucket. So he and his 2 brothers, you guys may well have been on that ferry with him when he was doing that. Well, that wasn't busy enough, so he thought he would join this little club called the Massachusetts State Legislature, where he served as a legislator for a number of years, when some of us were all very young and there were exciting things going on in the legislature at that time. That wasn't enough. When Michael Dukakis came in to be governor in his 2nd term, he and I worked together. He was at the commissioner of the Rate Setting Commission when I was over on another part of state government. We were reminiscing about his being involved in the presidential campaign when Michael was running a different kind of campaign way back then. Then he said, okay, it's time to do something different, and he came back to the Cape and ran the Barnstable Housing Authority, and then ascended to the town managership, first as assistant town manager, and now as the retiring town manager of Barnstable. And so it is with a great deal of pleasure. Jeff, do you want to add some comments from the MMA perspective?
Thank you. It's really a privilege for the Mass Municipal Association to be able to participate in this recognition of you. We work with town managers in every part of Massachusetts, and our town managers work with professional town managers and city managers all across the country. And I can say that there's no one who's more respected, there's no one who has a more distinguished record than Tom Lynch, someone who is looked to by his peers, professional managers, leading communities, working with elected officials, working with citizens. There's no one who's looked to more than Tom as someone who's been not only professional and steady, but extremely innovative, dedicated to the community, and someone who, when you look at a good government, you see a smooth service, and underneath you go down and it's like the ocean. There's all sorts of activity underneath. A lot of things are happening, and what's happening is you have a tide. Something is helping to pull. The moon pulls the oceans. In Barnstable, Tom was the moon pulling the community in a direction, and in the right direction, and has really made a great difference. And so we're here to speak on behalf of your peers in local government to say thank you for being a shining star and a wonderful example.
And from the Massachusetts Senate, in recognition of your outstanding performance, exemplifying Congressman Moakley's commitment to public sector, an official citation to go on your wall. And naturally, your colleagues in the House have to be different, so that one's being delivered in May, locally down there. And this is the Moakley Public Service Award. It is not a plaque. You know, some of us have plaques or you get, you know, little certificates. This is a cheese board. And on it says the Moakley Public Service Award. So you can show it off, Jennifer, anywhere that you want and send it anywhere. So on behalf of all of us, Tom Lynch, congratulations.
I have to tell you, having a degree in special education, it was in the education of dealing with social and emotionally disturbed children. It's something that really helped me when I was a member of the legislature. So you can start at any career and it'll help you move up. You know, as Sandy pointed out, I started out working in a presidential campaign, traveling around the country, you know, trying to influence in different states, influence primary voters. Then worked for Congressman Stubbs on the Cape for a couple of elections, getting him elected. Then ran myself, so I served at the state level. Finishing that, I had 11 years in county government that I worked at, and then now at the town level for the past 8 years. So I've gradually been working my way down the political ladder. But I've found a spot that I think brings a lot of my skills that I've gotten, you know, together. Congressman Moakley went the other way with his progression up that ladder. You know, he started at the local level, went to the state level, and went to Congress. But I think if you notice in your brochure there, he says something about, you know, Congress was like living in the neighborhood. And for those of us that worked with Boston reps, we understand what they mean by the neighborhood. But down on Cape Cod, we don't have neighborhoods the way you do in Boston. We have villages, and we have a different way of life that's built around natural resources and the beauty of the area that we live in. And yet we attract visitors from around the world. But at the same time, we have the same social, the same economic difficulties that every other community has out there. And I've been very pleased to be able to work with the Moakley Center for Public Management that has really demonstrated that they'll come out into the community. They'll find those individuals, our employees, Lynn Poyant, who's here today, is an MPA graduate from that program, and you know, train them and show that they've got an outreach program, a geographically outreach program. That's why I want to tell them I think you've chosen well in selecting me. You didn't stay within that boundary of you know, the one.
We went across the bridge.
Yeah, and you realize there's talent other places. So I'm just very pleased to accept this, and thank you all for your.
Go.
Linda.
Oh, there you are, hiding in the back. Once again, an excellent part. We've done this for 8 years, and all 16 of them, she's been the star choreographer. So, Linda, thank you very much.